These are different layouts that I have achieved using the stack widget in Flutter. Let's code this Flutter app from scratch to demonstrate how to use the stack widget as well as to explore its properties. We will start off with a blank VS Code window. So I'll go to this menu here and open the folder that I have created for this project. Now that we have opened the folder, I'll go back to the same menu and I'll open a new terminal, and I'll use the command flutter create demo_app to create a new project inside a folder called demo_app. We can see here in this folder structure that our project has been created. I have also added this folder called .vscode, inside of which we have this settings.json file, and mostly this is to keep the IntelliSense pop-ups from showing up as I write the code. Let's now go to the main .dat file here and start writing our code. First of all, I will set this device to Chrome so that later on we are able to run this app on the browser. Next, I will change the title of this app. I will remove this theme because we don't need it. I will remove the comments in this code, and I will also remove some of this code so that we remain with only a blank scaffold. We are going to create the stack widget inside the body property of the scaffold. We will start by creating the children of this stack, and then we will build this up to see these children. And the reason is, once we have the children in place, we are able to see how changing the different properties of the stack widget affects the stack widget. The first child will be a card widget. This widget will be at the bottom of the pile or the bottom of the stack. And so to be able to see it, I will make it the largest of all the children. And so the child of this card will be a sized box whose width will be 200 pixels and its height will be 300 pixels. The child of this sized box will be a container widget. Inside the decoration property, we will have a box decoration where we will give it a radial gradient whose center will be the bottom left. That means the gradient will radiate from the bottom left outwards. We will give this gradient a radius of 0.9 to make sure that the innermost color spreads out a bit further. And in the colors property, we will give it two colors. The innermost will be the shade of blue 900, and the outermost color will be the shade of blue 200. The second child of this stack widget will be a card that is similar to the first, but the difference is that this one will be slightly smaller. And so its width will be 150 pixels, its height will be 250 pixels, and its color will also be different in that the innermost color will be red, whose shade is 900, and the outermost color will be red, whose shade is 200. The third child of this stack widget will also be a card similar to the other two cards, but the difference is that this one will be the smallest of all, with a width of 100 pixels and a height of 200 pixels, and its innermost color will be yellow with a shade of 900, and its outermost color will be yellow with a shade of 200. Now that we've defined all the children of this stack widget, let's go to this menu here and run this app so that we can be able to see these children, so that when we change the properties of this stack widget, we see how the widget responds. Our app has been built, so I'll close this panel here. I'll also close this inspector tab and close this debug console, then zoom in a little bit on our app window. Now, two small changes I'd like us to make quickly. First, we should be seeing the curved edges of the cards, but we are not. So we're going to add a property to each of these cards, which is the clip behavior, and we will set it to hard edge so that we can see those curves. And then I've also noticed that this code is a bit inefficient in that it does not make sense to have a container inside a sized box that does not perform any special function. So we'll get rid of the sized boxes and move this width and height properties to the container. So let's start with this first container right here. So just click on this sized box, go to this bulb and say remove this widget. Then we give this container a width of 200 and a height of 300 pixels. And then for the card itself, we will give it a clip behavior property, and we will set it to clip.hardEdge. Let's quickly make the same changes to the second and third widgets. Now that we've made these changes, let us hot reload this app. This card should be a bit taller, so let's find the red card. This should be 250 pixels. So hot reload. And we now have our three children of the stack widget. The first property of the stack widget that we'll look at is the textDirection property. The default text direction is left to right because that is how we write. And that is why if you look at these three children of the stack widget, they have been arranged to align with the left edge. So if we were to change this direction to right to left, then you would see that all the widgets who are children of this stack widget would be arranged to align with the right edge. So let's go ahead and give this that property. Let's hot reload this up. And now we can see that our 3 children in the stack all line up along the right edge. So let's comment out this text direction property and look at the next property. Let's hot reload this up. The next property we will look at is the alignment property. This property determines how these children are aligned, as we shall see in a little bit. So these alignment properties are based on 2 properties, that is the vertical alignment and the horizontal alignment. So for each alignment option, we have 1 vertical property combined with 1 horizontal property. Our first option will be bottom center. Let's reload this up. And now you can see that our children in this stack widget are aligned from the bottom center. So the bottom center is the focal point of the arrangement. Our next option is bottom end. Let's hot reload this up. Now you can see that the focus of alignment is the bottom end. Now this term end depends on the text direction. Our default text direction is left to right. So end in this case means the far right. So if we come here and change this text direction and we now set it to right to left, it means end in this case will be the far left. So let's hot reload this. And now you can see that our arrangement has changed because now the end means the far left. So let's comment out this text direction to go back to our default text direction. Our next option is bottom start. So let's put that in and hot reload. And now you can see that the children in the stack are aligned such that the focal point is the bottom far left. The next option is center. Everything is aligned with the focus in the center. Let's now put in center end, which is our next option. And again, remember that end relies on the text direction. So this is center end for the default text direction. Let's now put in center start. That's what center start looks like. Let's go to our 7th option, which is top center. That is top center. Then let's have top end. This is top end. And finally, we have top start. Hot reload. And this is the default alignment option for the stack widget. The last property I want us to look at is the fit property. Now this takes a stack fit. There are 3 options. You can either go with expand, loose, or pass through. And out of the 3, I have only figured out how to demonstrate the expand option, which forces the children of the stack widget to fill up the entire space, as you can see in this case. And because they have filled out the entire space, we are not able to see the cards that are below this yellow card. Let's comment this out and hot reload our app. And that's how to use the stack widget in Flutter. If you have enjoyed this video and found value in it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might find it useful as well. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel with the notifications turned on so that you get notified every time I upload a new video.